What's good, YouTube? It's the Miami Football Fanatic here again. Happy to have you guys back. And today, just want to talk about what defensive coordinator Matt Burke said in his most recent press conference. I think there's some good nuggets in there, some good information that I want to break down for you guys and just give my opinion on the ideas that he put forward. So for Dolphins defensive coordinator Matt Burke, life after Sue will not only feature some new personnel but also a change in approach. Sue last season played 877 snaps, which ranked 7th most among all NFL defensive tackles. So, he played a ton of snaps for us last season at one of the spots. But no longer will the Dolphins rely on one tackle to play nearly that much. Instead, snaps will be shared fairly among 4 players, a group that will include Jordan Phillips, Davin Gotchaw, Akeem Spence, and Vincent Taylor. Burke predicts that group will surprise people. I have a lot of history with Sue. It's always hard to move on from guys that you've had a history with. That's part of the business. I'm excited about that room. We've got some young players like Jordan and Davin. We're expecting to make big leaps. And Akeem is a nice piece for us, especially with his history with new Dolphins and former Lions defensive line coach Chris Kukurek. It's going to be an open competition, Burke said of the defensive tackle battle. In an ideal world, we play 4 tackles and rotate them through. The way we want to play and the style that we want to play, we want to keep them fresh. We're asking guys to play full speed and chase the ball and attack. It's hard to do that if you're asking them to play 80 or 60 snaps a game, which Sue was doing. Ideally, we'll have 4 guys we feel comfortable rolling through there, and that will all be getting equal reps. Whoever earns the starting spots will be the starters. Beyond Phillips, Gotchaw, and Spence, the Dolphins have, as I said before, Vincent Taylor, Gabe Wright, and undrafted rookies Anthony Moten and Jameis Pittman. Vincent played some football for us, Matt Burke said. Gabe Wright got in at the end of the year. It will be a good competition. Chris has done a good job connecting with those guys and getting things started. I'm looking forward to that D-tackle room. I think it's going to be a surprise for people. It's a valuable piece to have a guy like Sue to perform at a high level, to take those reps. Those are snaps we have to replace, and we think we have a pretty good plan to do that. And yeah, I'm really hoping that those guys come through and help relieve the hole that Sue's left in the middle of the defense. When Burke was asked about third-round linebacker Jerome Baker, he said that we like his speed. That was the first thing that stood out. He ran well at the Combine in Indy, but talking to a lot of the guys at Ohio State, they feel that he's even faster than what he tested and put him in the category of guys that have come through there, like Darren Lee and Ryan Shazier. I definitely agree with that. Jerome Baker's got incredible play speed. He's just an awesome linebacker that we've needed for a long time now. We wanted to add speed to that room, Burke said, and he was one of the fastest linebackers in the draft, and we felt good about getting him where we did. Burke on who might be starting at linebacker beyond Kiko Alonso and likely starting middle linebacker Raekwon McMillan. In terms of a starter, all those guys have played for us. Stephon Anthony started for us, Chase Allen started for us, and Mike Hull started for us. It's an open spot right now, and I'm really hoping that Chase Allen and Mike Hull do not get a chance to start. Those guys are not starting caliber NFL defense linebackers. They're good on special teams, but as starters on defense, no thanks. Those guys are just subpar athletes. I do like Chase Allen in like goal line situations in the red zone. I think he does a good job there, but anywhere else, no thanks. Matt Burke spoke of various players to suit various packages to suit certain players and potentially substantial rotation of personnel. Burke said that we are hopefully projecting Raekwon as a starter after he injured his knee in the first snap of preseason last year. We feel good about putting him inside, Matt Burke said of McMillan, and letting him play ball there. If it works out the way we think it can, and hope it does, that's a huge acquisition for us. We had high expectations for him last year, coming into the draft as a second-round pick. We felt like he was starting to take the next step before he got injured. We had high hopes for him last year, McMillan. Nothing he's done since then has discouraged that. Really, he's really in tune. He's really sharp. He has all the leadership skills we look for in that position. He has worked his butt off to get better, hasn't shown any limitations so far, and hopefully he's a big piece for us. I'm encouraged by him. That is just terrific to hear. It's great to hear that he's recovered well from his injury, and hopefully he's that beast for us in the middle of the defense that we've definitely needed. Raekwon, stay healthy, buddy. When Matt Burke was asked about Minka Fitzpatrick and if he'll focus on one role or multiple roles, Burke said that that's going to be up to him and how much he absorbs. He's a student of the game, so take that as you will. We all know that Minka is just a terrific athlete and just an awesome football player. Just a guy that I know can play any position in the secondary, so I'm not worried about wherever Minka plays. The guy's he's just a dynamic football player. He said GM Chris Grier and coach Adam Gase called him when the opportunity arose to trade for Robert Quinn from the Rams, and Burke thought it was a joke. Just watch him just to make sure. He said he was told by Grier and Gase. So Burke and the D-line coach watched 5 or 6 games of Quinn's tape and said my answer is still 100% yes. Even going back to when he came out of the draft when I was in Detroit, he was a really good scheme fit for what we were doing in Detroit. He has really rare ability to bend. He's kind of freaky to watch sometimes. Going through drill work, he's one of the loosest, bendiest athletes I've ever seen around at that position. He battled through some injuries the last couple of years, but in 2013 he had 19 sacks in a season, which was 5 years ago. I mean, he could be a completely different player now, but I'm hoping that he has that similar explosion for us this year, because 19 sacks, that's just absolute dominance. He's been great, Burke said of Quinn. He's been a good worker, doesn't say much. He's a quiet guy, comes to work every day with a smile on his face. I know he feels comfortable being in a scheme that fits his skill set better. You know, he was playing in a 3-4 last year under Wade Phillips and the Rams. I think that position is going to be an area of strength for us, so that's just terrific to hear. Hoping that Robert Quinn gets, back to that similar playing style, but just hoping for the best. And that D end room is just going to be absolutely stacked with Quinn and Cam Wake, Charles Harris, Andre Branch, William Hayes. It's just going to be a lot of snaps to go around. So Robert Quinn's probably not going to get back to that production, but hopefully those guys keep rolling through and we can get that, just constant pressure from whoever's in there. Okay, so that's it for the video. Let me know what you think about what Burke said or my analysis. Feedback's always wanted. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. And as always, fins up, baby.